Hi, my name is Yanti and I'm an educator at the National Library of Australia. Today, I want to talk to you about a very important event to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, the 1967 referendum. Why is this important, you might ask? It's a very good question. To answer this, we will take a step back in time to the pivotal events leading up to that life-changing event. Over 50 years ago, around 90% of electors voted yes in a federal referendum to alter two clauses in the Australian Constitution in reference to Aboriginal peoples. So what makes this event so significant to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples? Firstly, it gave Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders reassurance that they were included and counted in the overall Australian census. They were now Australian citizens. Secondly, of the 44 attempts to amend the Constitution, only 8 have succeeded, and the vote on the 27th of May 1967 was, and still is, the highest ever achieved. The year is 1956. Concerned with the current plight of Australia's Indigenous peoples, Jessie Strait, a renowned activist, urges Aboriginal leader Pearl Gibbs and South Sea Islander activist Faith Bandler to form the Aboriginal Australian Fellowship and start petitioning for a referendum to change the Constitution. So what did the Constitution say about Australia's First Peoples? In 1901, the Australian Constitution included 2 references to Aboriginal peoples. Section 51, which states, "The Parliament shall, subject to this Constitution, have power to make laws for the peace, order, and good government of the Commonwealth, respect to," Clause 26, "the people of any race other than Aboriginal race in any state for whom it is deemed necessary to make special law." This meant that the Commonwealth government didn't want to take responsibility for Aboriginal people. They felt it was in the states and territories' interests to look after them. Section 127. In reckoning the numbers of the people of the Commonwealth or of a state or other part of the Commonwealth, Aboriginal natives shall not be counted. This meant that Aboriginal people could not be counted as an Australian or be called an Australian. So what needed to be done to bring about these changes? I'll tell you in more detail. Firstly, a signed petition calling for the immediate changes to the Constitution, particularly to Sections 51, Clause 26, and Section 127. Secondly, a national campaign to highlight the appalling conditions faced by many Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders living throughout Australia, and to involve the whole of the country. To alter the 2 clauses in the Australian Constitution, Jessie Strait, Brian Fitzpatrick, and Christian Jolie Smith would compose a draft petitioning outlining what needed to be changed immediately. The petition, which was launched on the 29th of April 1957 and led by the Aboriginal Australian Fellowship leaders Pearl Gibbs and Faith Bandler, with the help of prominent activist Jessie Strait, would end up collecting just over 100,000 signatures, a huge success. Therefore, to keep this movement going, a national organisation was needed so that a joint national campaign for Aboriginal rights would start to bring the message to the Australian people. The Federal Council for the Advancement of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders was established, in which Joe McGuinness became the first Aboriginal president after Gordon Bryant of FACSI. The council took responsibility for the national campaign for constitutional change, which would be a driving force for the 1967 referendum. After 10 hard years of campaigning and significant protests around the country, on the 27th of May 1967, a referendum was held to change the Australian Constitution.